Hi, it's me again, and I haven't been down here for a while. We haven't had a little walk in the park together for a long time, have we? And I happened to be on a job down here in Malden. I thought, wouldn't it be rude to not have a look in the park? Oh, look, one of the barges is moving. It's going out on a day trip. I don't know if you can see it. It's quite a wide camera. But what a lovely day for a walk in the park. Let's go and have a look at that barge, shall we? Although it would be a lovely day for a walk in the park if I wasn't just about to talk about TV licence stuff. Again, obviously, two to go through here. First one we'll have a look at is in the Birmingham Mail because it caught my attention. And a headline like this, as you know, would catch my attention. Labour proposes huge changes around BBC licence fee. That get my attention. I won't tell you my thoughts on the current government or anything like that. I don't get political on this channel, do I? But it says here, Labour could scrap criminal prosecutions over failure to pay the BBC licence fee. Ooh, Labour could. It's a bit of a weak word, the could. I don't like that. An insider revealed prosecutions would continue until at least 2027, when the BBC's Royal Charter was due for renewal. They can't do anything really about the TV licence fee or anything to do with it until 2027 when the Charter expires. We can plan it all out now, but the problem is the Media and Culture Secretary would need to be the same person that plans it out now would be in 2027, and that was some of the problems we had with the previous government, wasn't it? So don't expect a lot to change yet. However, it's thought ministers would then meet with BBC bosses to explore options for new funding models, including decriminalisation. Why is the Birmingham Mail reporting that they're not going to meet until 2027? Do they know something I don't? The Charter expires in 2027. The deal needs to be done and the plan needs to be done. It needs to be done today in order to get it ready for 2027, surely. If you start meeting in 2027, you know how the government works and how fast it works. It's going to be 2030 before we see any change. I'm not quite sure how that works. But then it says could, and then 2027, don't expect anything. It's a complete non-headline. A complete and utter non-headline from the Birmingham Mail. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't see the point of it. It's just TV licence stuff. Gets them clicks, I suppose. Says me, whose channel is all about that. But I do have another one that needs talking about. I'll have a look, they're parking this barge. Parking? No, docking, isn't it? That's the word I'm looking for. Spin you around. Nice, these barges. I've never been on one. I grew up round here. I've never been on one. You think I would have, wouldn't you? Not really a boat person, though. We did have a boat. We bought a pub. My dad bought a pub around the corner from here. And it came with a fishing boat. And we nearly died. We got to the I love you, Dad, I love you, son stage. So I'm not really a boat person. Hydrogen, that is. Barge hydrogen. 5 people in Bradford convicted for using TV without licence in the last 6 months. I'm surprised it's only 5. I mean, on TV licensing, I haven't read all of this, but I guarantee a TV licensing spokesperson says their aim is to help people be correctly licensed and prosecution is the final resort. That's what it will say. I haven't read this, but it says it. So I'm surprised it's only 5 people, though, to be fair. I knew. Now, if I sit here, you might be able to see the barge while I'm doing this. Hold on. Ugh. I've treated myself to a new stick. It's got a stand on it. I'm spending money. £1.99 it was. Right, where were we? 5 people in Bradford have been convicted for using a TV without a licence in the last 6 months, according to court records. All 5, this is the interesting bit, were found guilty of the charge of using a television set without a licence at Kirklees Magistrates Court. Okay, it gets worse. The law states a television receiver must not be installed or used unless the installation and the use of the receiver is authorised by a licence. Is that really the law? Is that really the law? Because I have a television receiver on my wall in my living room, my television. My laptop's technically a television receiver. This phone here, technically a television receiver. And I use them in my property without a license. Am I breaking the law? I'm not. The law isn't based on the equipment that you have. It's based on what you use that equipment to do. So I can have the television. It's whether I use it to receive television as it's being broadcast or access BBC iPlayer. I don't know where... Who is this? We'll come to who it is in a minute, I think. I don't know where they've got this information from. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying that. I know exactly where they've got the bloody information from. They've got it from TV licensing themselves. They reached out for comment. They've come across this story, or they've been put onto it by one of the PR agencies that work for TV licensing. And they've just copy and pasted whatever TV licensing have said. Someone is guilty if they have a receiver and intend to install or use it, or has reasonable grounds for believing that another person intends to do so. Again, that makes even less sense then, doesn't it? Someone is guilty if they have a receiver and intend to install or use it. That's as clear as mud, isn't it? The three faced court on June the 12th, but none of them attended and were found guilty of the charges in their absence. And then it names them, gives their age, and basically their address again. You know how much this winds me up. How are local papers getting away with naming and shaming people in their community that they're supposed to be serving? If I had a business and I saw that my local paper was doing this, I wouldn't run any adverts. Not that anyone does. People still advertise in local papers, and I don't know about that. It's all website advertising like this, which is blocked because I've got an ad blocker on my phone. Meanwhile, two women were due in court on July 10th this year for the same offence. Name, age and address. Was found guilty in their absence. She was ordered to pay £288. It's a £120 fine. Victim surcharge of £48. I mean, it's important at this point to say how they got caught, because it wasn't through the use of detection equipment. Should we go back and have a look over there? Hold on. Oh, they've got to climb across the other boat to get off that boat. Is that normal? I don't know. We'll use that as well. What a lovely day to be down here today, isn't it? Anyway, it's important to say that the only way they got caught doing something... I mean, I don't condone watching stuff you shouldn't be watching. You know I don't condone that, all right? But there's so many people... Spin you around again, there's kids over there. I don't want to get kids in the video. There's so many people that aren't really doing anything wrong. They get stitched up by the way it's enforced. And the only way these people got into trouble is by talking to the goons when they knocked on the door. You know, they get you talking, and they're quite good, some of them. And they know if they get you talking long enough, you'll drop yourself in it, or you don't know the rules, or you'll let them in and they'll stitch you up. And the worst thing about it is, when you do speak to the goons and they stitch you up, they sell you a licence on the doorstep, but they also still take you to court. They double their money on commissions. Which one is it? Take me to court, sell me a licence. It's important that we get the message out to people. Do not talk to these goons. I don't condone watching stuff you shouldn't be watching. You know that by now. But the only way you can get into trouble is by talking to them when they knock on the door. And I don't understand how local papers are getting away with naming and shaming people in their local community. I'll spin you back now. I'm having flashbacks of when I used to come down here to have a rant about trying to buy my flat when I was desperate to get out of that awful cottage I was living in. But what a cracking day for it. If you're local to Essex, you get a nice day like this. I can recommend a little walk around here. There's cafes and stuff in the park. A nice cup of coffee. It is nice down here. I miss living around here. The adventures I had in here as a young teenager when they closed the park at night. We was over the back there with a couple of bottles of 2020 and 20 Lambert and Butler and a couple of girls. But that's a story for another day, isn't it? Basically wasted some of your time there, because the Birmingham Mail story is complete and utter bloody nonsense. And the other one is just one of those ones that bloody well winds me right up. Nice to see no one's parked near my Bentley again. Can you see? It's not mine. Every time I film down here, that Bentley's there. People think it's mine. I'm parking there to film this video. I'm not. I wish it was mine. I'd tell you if it was. I'd be shouting about it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments below. I really had a lot to talk about today, but I just fancy a walk in the park because we haven't done this for ages, have we? So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hit all the buttons way down there. Leave in your comment. And if you do all that, hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon. And I wish I was going in there for a cheeky lunchtime pint, but I've got stuff to do. Ta-da!